What's up, guys? This is Sohinki for Clever Games, and right now we're going to be checking out some Dota 2, just to give you a quick update on where the beta is for those of you that either do not have a beta key or are still waiting for the game to come out to play it and play it outside of beta. So basically, as far as the game goes, it's pretty much done feature-wise and gameplay-wise as far as mechanics go and everything. They're sort of slowly adding in new features and all the little nuances that are kind of going to be in the final version with the Dota 2 shop, which you can now buy vanity items for your characters and also get things like leveling up, things that level you up faster, get you more battle points per game. All those sorts of vanity / level up type things are now available in the shop. But as far as the game goes, it's pretty much done. The only thing remaining is to port all of the heroes from Dota 1 back into Dota 2. So the most recent heroes they added are Luna and the Guardian Wisp, and there's still, I would say, probably about 20 more heroes to add that I can sort of think of, but I'm sure there might be even more than that. I think there's about 80, 81 heroes in the game right now, and I think the final count is a little over 100. You see me rocking First Blood right there. The hero that I'm using right now is named Rubick. He basically, Rubick the Grand Magus, he has 2 abilities that are active and then 1 passive, and then his ultimate is that he can steal anyone's spell in the game. So basically the way it works, as I run up here to try and save this Witch Doctor from Clockwork, but basically the way that this hero works is that when you steal a spell, you're going to be stealing the last spell that was cast on the hero that you used your spell steal on. So you kind of have to be strategic about when you're using it, and who you're going to steal it from to sort of maximize Rubick's potential. He's kind of like a poor man's version of Invoker. So Invoker is this hero that actually has, I think, about 10 spells that he's able to invoke and use, but he's sort of known for, especially when he has Aghanim Scepter, just casting a ton of spells in a fight. And Rubick is sort of the same way because he can continually steal spells and then use different spells in the fight based on who is in the team fight. So in this fight that we're taking place in right now, basically I was just trying to help them scare these people off, but the Clockwork that we just killed came back in and wanted some more blood. Unfortunately, he overextended and got killed. But basically, alright, so now back to what Rubick does. Other than the spell steal, he has a passive which makes you and your teammates take less spell damage, and then he also has this move called Telekinesis, which is a lift you're about to see right here, and you're not going to see it in this clip, but I can also control where the enemy lands within 350 units of where I've lifted them. And then, and that can be useful in terms of just controlling the positioning of where you want the person to go. And also, when the person lands, they're going to stun everything around them for a short duration. And you're actually going to see that here, so I can control him and lift him over to where that guy was, use the stun on him, and then subsequently get both of those kills, basically, because of that stun that I was able to land. And then his other active ability is called Fade Bolt, which is just a straight 300 damage nuke, and it will also decrease the damage of the target. It does more damage reduction on creeps than on heroes, but there is also a small damage reduction on heroes as well. So you can see how that can be useful in a team fight, especially with heroes that rely a lot on right-clicking. In this instance, Doom and Drow Ranger, those 2 heroes you just saw right there on the opposing team, being examples of that. So he's actually one of my favorite heroes to play just because he's sort of a direct counter to any hero that you're trying to shut down in the game, mainly because he can steal initiations, he can steal damage nukes, which make him a very, very powerful nuker, and he also has that crowd controlling ability where he can use the telekinesis as well as use it to stun the opposing team. So very powerful. And right now I'm just teleporting into the mid lane to help because I saw that they were putting pressure on this tower. This Drow Ranger has found herself in a terrible position, and she's about to get killed as I lift her up and killed her. The spell that I have stolen right now is this sort of rocket that Clockwork has. I forget the exact name of the spell. But it looks like my teammates, you can see on the minimap down there, want more. They are fighting the Spirit Breaker and, I believe, the Doom, so we're going to see if they're able to catch them out. And it looks like, yes, we were able to catch the Spirit Breaker and take him out. Sven providing the extra damage there in the middle lane. So, for those of you that don't know, I'm just going to provide a short history of Dota and, I guess, how these sorts of games came about. Because there's a lot of confusion. Everyone's like, oh, League of Legends did it first, Dota's just a copy, which is actually the exact opposite of the case. I wouldn't say the League of Legends copied Dota because they have made a lot of changes to the game, but it is definitely derivative. So basically, Defense of the Ancients came from a game that originally was a StarCraft 1 custom map called Aeon of Strife, which had the same basic format. It was a 3-lane format, not quite as sophisticated as these, and the maps were sort of differently laid out. As you're seeing this missile that I stole from Gyrocopter going in, and I do get that kill on Clockwork. Anyway, so it was based on an Aeon of Strife, the map called Aeon of Strife for classic StarCraft, and then eventually someone ported Aeon of Strife over to Dota, and then ported Aeon of Strife over to Warcraft 3, and then someone made a game based on Aeon of Strife called Dota, and then IceFrog, this guy IceFrog, came along and he created a game called Dota All-Stars, which was just a variation on Dota, and that is sort of the popular format that you see today. So every I call them ARTS because I think that is a more correct term. Every ARTS slash MOBA, if you want to use that term, is based on Dota All-Stars pretty much nowadays. So, there you go. The more you know, I guess. But anyway, just a short history of how these sort of games came about. So I hear people confusing that constantly. You're going to see just how tanky Rubick can be. Right now, I have Drums of Endurance on him, as well as a Bloodstone. And for those of you that don't play this game, Drums of Endurance increase your stats as well as your damage, and also give you an attack speed and a movement speed buff, as well as an active movement speed buff that you can use to increase your speed even more. So it gives you a stat increase and more maneuverability, and then you also have Bloodstone, which is basically a bunch of health and mana, and then also a bunch of regen, and you'll get more health and mana regen based on how many people you've killed around you. And then if you have enough charges, you can actually use those, well, it will automatically use them to recharge you quicker. And it looks like this Doom is going to want to engage on me. I have stolen one of his spells already, and he made the mistake of accidentally dooming a creep. And he calls out GG because he's very upset that he messed up. Made sure to steal that Doom right before he died just so I'd be able to use that in team fights. And yeah, we pretty much dominated this game, and that's pretty much going to do it for this one. I hope you guys have enjoyed this sort of brief update of where Dota is at right now, as well as some of this gameplay as Rubick, the Grand Magus, and we'll catch you next time on Clever Games with some more.
Critical. You should not have crossed me. Interesting.
Radiant victory.
Sorcery is such a pleasure. Another to my collection.